These are the makeup products that I'm bringing with me in the year 2024. They are all of my favorites in every single category, including foundation, primer, blush, bronzer, eyes, you name it. In this video, you're gonna find out my #1 all-time makeup products that I would recommend you try in the new year if you haven't already. Hi beauties, welcome to the first ever Chew Choice Awards 2023. My name is Elle Chew and I'll be your host for tonight. I thought it would be fun to do a silly little award show that I made up. I have no idea if I like the name. I'm definitely improvising on the spot here. So I hope to entertain you while also sharing with you some of my favorite products. I kind of questioned whether or not I only wanted to include new makeup releases, but I came to the conclusion that I wanted to do a mixture of both. So this is not only, my top makeup of the year, but it's my top makeup of all time. If there just so happens to be a new makeup release in this video, that means that that new makeup release has knocked out of the park all of my other makeup products that I used to love. If there isn't a new makeup release in this video, that just means that there weren't any products that I tried that I felt like could knock out my holy grails into #1. I hope that this gives you an idea of how I feel about some of the makeup I've reviewed this year and if they really are the best of the best. There's always going to be new makeup coming out, but I don't want my channel just to be about new makeup. So make sure you watch until the end of the show to find out what makeup products you might need to try in the new year. And let's get started with the very first category. The first category is the canvas of any makeup look, and that is primer. This award is going to be going to my most tried and true product. It has been with me through thick and thin. I have almost used it up. She's a little expensive, but she is so worth it. It is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. I am literally scraping the edges of this bottle because I'm using it all up. I got it this year and I'm about to finish it up, which is so exciting. You know when I finish a bottle of something that I'm obsessed with it because I try so much makeup. I'm gonna show you it on this side of my face. This is where I have a lot of texture over here, so I tend to apply it there. This primer isn't just good for specifically blurring your skin. What makes it really amazing is that it's also pretty moisturizing, which makes the best primer, because when you want a good base for your makeup, you want it to be smooth, you want it to hopefully help the pores, minimize the pores a little bit, and you also want to have a little bit of hydration so that when your foundation is applied on, it creates like the best, most perfect canvas. And out of all of the expensive and lower end primers I've tried, this is unfortunately the best of the best despite the price. This is the side without the primer, and this is the side with primer. The next category is foundation, and I have tried so many foundations this year. You know that it is one of the most important categories on my channel. I'm always reviewing and trying new foundations, and surprisingly, the winner of this year is actually one of the most budget-friendly foundations I have tried all year. It beats out so many high-end foundations. Every time I try something new and I go back to this one, I still think that this one is #1. Drumroll please. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. Are you surprised? If you've been watching my videos, you know this is my all-time favorite everyday foundation. It's not my favorite for on-camera, so it might not be enough coverage for on-camera makeup, but just for an everyday use, it is, it's the most flattering foundation I've ever used. If you have oily, textured, and acne-prone skin, oh my gosh, am I out of this too? I don't even know if I can use this right now. I have like nothing left. I'm buying another one soon, but I do have another shade. I'm gonna mix it with a different color. It is very lightweight, but it's also blurring on the skin and gives you a good medium coverage. And it's a satin, almost matte foundation without looking flat on the face. But again, it doesn't make your skin look dry, and if you have oily skin, I think because of the clay, it does help kind of maintain your oils throughout the day. And then the best part is that this foundation ranges from like $5 to $7, just depending on where you purchase it. And nothing really beats that because I feel like so many foundations and skin tints from the drugstore start at like $15 now. It's the end of the year and I'm out of these. That has to say something. Moving along is the companion of our favorite foundation, which is concealer. And this year, so many different new concealers have come out. Tower 28, House Labs, Kulfi. I have tried them all. Shockingly, they're not my favorite. None of the new releases have really made it to my all-time favorites. Maybe I just need a little bit more time with them, or maybe they're just simply not good enough. Just because they're new doesn't make them amazing. I also get a lot of questions on what I would consider to be the best coverage concealer to cover acne or scars and hyperpigmentation. And as I was kind of browsing through my makeup collection, I ended up voting the most unexpected one, L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. You're probably so surprised because I haven't mentioned this much, but I just discovered it within the last few months of the year. I have the shade in Amber 385. If you're looking for a true full coverage concealer, this is going to be the concealer for you. I have not found a high-end concealer that gives this much coverage. Warning, if you have dry or combo skin, this is a really matte concealer, which is what I prefer, only because when you have blemishes, you don't want to enhance it by using anything too luminous. It's also pretty transfer proof from what I've experienced, which is amazing because when you have acne, you know that sometimes when you try to cover your acne spots, the concealer is the first thing to go on your acne spots. So it tends to fade quickly throughout the day. But when I use this to cover my acne spots, I find that it lasts really long throughout the day and doesn't fade that easily. Once it sets, and then you could always go on top of it with powder and setting spray and it will make it super bulletproof. Another drugstore favorite. Now it's time to vote the hardest category of all, eyebrows. I have the most stubborn eyebrows. They just don't work with any brow products at all. But these 3 products that I am voting as the best of the best brow products, they're unmatched. Nothing yet has replaced these, and I will buy them till the end of time, or until I can find something better, but I doubt that. With that being said, these are the best products of the year. Number 1 is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This brow gel is the very best in the game. Every time I try something else, I always go back to this one because it just does not disappoint me. It gives you such a strong hold, but enough time to work with it. And once it's set, you cannot move it. It does not budge. And the only time you'll be able to move it is just by starting over again. And as a companion to fill in the brows, I use the NYX Professional Brow Tint Pen in the shade Taupe. Fill it in with hair-like strokes. So I only put it on the ends of my brows, and if it's looking a little crazy, don't worry, we're gonna clean it up later. And then for those of you who love a good brow pencil, that is also budget friendly. I am voting the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Pencil in the shade Deep Brown, so you don't have to break the bank every time you have to replace your brow pencil. And it does still last a pretty significant amount of time. The formula also isn't super drying, it's just creamy enough so it makes it really easy to fill in your eyebrows. The next category for the Chew Choice Awards is going to be cream bronzer. And just like concealer, it seems that there was many different and new cream bronzers that have released. I even filmed an entire comparison video of all of the cream bronzer that I've tried. So if you're interested in that, I will link it in the description and in the cards. But out of all of those cream bronzers, I voted the Rare Beauty Bronzer Sticks as number 1 bronzers of the year. If you watch my videos, then you already know I usually use 2 shades of the bronzer stick. I have the shade Happy Soul, which is more of a neutral brown color, and I tend to use this more on my cheekbones because it's a little more subtle. I'm gonna use it here. I take the shade Good Energy and I use it on my forehead just because my forehead is a lot more darker and brown than the rest of my skin. I'm going in with the Sephora 64 brush and blending that out, and you just see how easy that was to blend on the skin. There was no hardships at all. There was no obstacles. and blending it, and yet it's still pigmented and the color is still there. Now that we've got a little bit bronze from Miss Selena Gomez, it is time to blush up our cheeks, and y'all know blush is one of my favorites too. If you watch my videos, I would love to see you comment what you think my #1 blush is. I'll give you a hint, it is a liquid blush. No, it is not Rare Beauty. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush Wand, specifically in the shade Peach Pop. Kind of dot it on my face. Sometimes I'll go in on the back of my hand too. It's just such a pretty color. It makes me look so fresh, so clean, and so cute. But also the formulation itself is just soft and blurring. All right, I'll stop gushing over this, okay? I'll stop. Moving on to the best eye product of the year. Now, I could have gone many different ways with this. I could have chosen an eyeshadow palette, and I really wanted to, but truthfully, it was hard. It was hard to choose an eyeshadow palette. I almost chose the Makeup by Mary Ethereal Eyes, but then there was the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. Instead, I decided to vote on what I use the most, and shockingly, it wasn't an eyeshadow palette. It is instead the About Face Fluid Eye Paint in the shade Cloned. This About Face Fluid Eye Paint is my secret weapon when I just want to throw something on my eyes. So I'm just going to apply this on the back of my hand so I can get even coverage on my eyes. I then go in with a synthetic blending brush, tap in a little bit of that color, wipe off some excess, and then I start from the outer corners and I blend inwards and I diffuse it on to my eyes for a smoky look. And then if there's too much, I just kind of wipe it on the back of my hand and then I blend. Boom, in seconds, you literally just have a smoky eye. You can then go back in and add a little bit more depth by building it up in the outer corners and making the outer corners just slightly more opaque. Blend it on the bottom to smoke it out. Then I'm just gonna apply on lashes and mascara, and I'll be right back. You can keep the eye look as is, or you can give it a little bit more oomph by using the fluid eye paints as an eyeliner. So I'm gonna go back in with the same shade, or you can go in with a deeper shade and build up the line on my outer corners to make it more opaque. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more of this and a liner pencil, and then just follow my eyelashes and wing it out like that. Whenever I didn't know what to wear this year, whenever I was lazy to do an entire eye look, I put this on my eyes and I was done. A little bit of mascara, a little bit of eyeliner maybe, a little bit of sparkles as a topper, and there you have it. And of course, we can't have a beautiful eye look without eyeliner, and eyeliner has been pretty pivotal for me this year because I honestly for a while stopped wearing eyeliner just because I couldn't find the right products. I was just using eyeshadow as eyeliner until I discovered Victoria Beckham Kajal liners. These are one of the best products I've tried in 2023. I got them during Black Friday, which wasn't so long ago, but I have been looking for really smudgy, smooth eyeliners, and this is exactly what I've been looking for. I'm taking the shade in Cocoa. What I'm gonna do is set it on the outer corner, create a slight wing, and then bring it in. Going with the end of the liner, it has kind of like a smudger, and then just smudge it out. Then I'm gonna go in with the shade Cinnamon, which is kind of like the shade Cocoa, but it has more of a shimmer to it. And this is what I'm gonna use to line my bottom lash lines. I like that it has that shimmer because it'll make your under eyes look a little glowy and a lot more awake. And ta-da! Literally the best smudgy, smoldery kajal eyeliners I've ever used. Wouldn't recommend them to tightline. I wouldn't recommend them to put on your waterline because they do smudge. They're meant to smudge. This was the year I also started experimenting with eyelashes. I don't really love putting on eyelashes, especially for daily wear, so mascara is going to be another category. But in terms of eyelash extensions, I love to wear them on camera and for special occasions whenever I feel like it. But I found that the original, OG lash strips just didn't work for me. They always felt uncomfortable on the eyes, and I wear contacts. I tend to rub my eyes. I was just looking for a product that felt a little little bit more natural and also looked like eyelash extension on my eyes. So I ended up coming across a product that I am now voting as my #1 eyelashes of the year. They are the velour extension lashes. First things first, I always curl my lashes. I take the glue that it comes with, apply it on the very top, and then I also apply it underneath my current lashes. Push it. And then I just squeeze them together with my current lashes. This is what my eyes look like without the fake eyelashes, and this is what my eye looks like with the fake eyelashes. Now that we've gone on our fluttery, buttery eyelashes, we obviously need to blend them in with some mascara. So this category, I voted #1 mascara, L'Oreal Butterfly Waterproof Mascara. I've been using this also for years, probably since 2016, 17. It has this really cool curved brush that just separates your lashes as you apply the mascara. I love it because it is not clumpy and it makes my eyelashes look so long with just one coat. This is the side with one coat of mascara, and this is the side that's curled without mascara. And this is about 3 coats of mascara. Not only that, it definitely holds a curl throughout the day. No mascara has ever made my eyelashes look any better. I feel like this year I finally mastered the art of my eye makeup. This is something I struggled with for years when I started getting into makeup again, just because I didn't quite understand the shape of my eyes and how to work with them. But now I feel like I found some of my core products, and I cannot wait to continue experimenting in the new year. Once I finish my eye makeup, I usually then go in with powder products. I tend to apply on powder on top of creams just because I feel like it really sets the makeup and makes it last long. So not only do I have a cream bronzer favorite, but I also have a favorite powder bronzer of the year. And this one was kind of tough because there were a lot of powder bronzers that I loved. However, I have to give it to the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick. I have the shade in 03. On this episode of Expensive Makeup Worth Your Money, let me introduce you to the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick in shade 3. It comes in this beautifully weighted, refillable tortoiseshell package that feels and looks like luxury. It does retail for $60, but you get 2 shades, one for contour and one to add warmth, and the formula is silky, buildable, and matte. And best of all, it doesn't enhance my skin texture. Every aspect of this product experience is truly worth it to me, so if you love luxury makeup, I don't think you'll be disappointed. The next category isn't really a necessity, but I needed to add it in there as an honorable mention because it is one of my favorite products in my makeup collection, and I simply couldn't make the Chew Choice Awards without this product. So we're gonna call this category face palettes. The face palette that I voted as the best of the year, you may or may not be surprised if you watched my previous videos. I filmed an entire review on the Hourglass palettes and shared exactly why I love them. So if you're interested in hearing my full thoughts on that, then I will link it in the description and in the cards. But the one that I am declaring my favorite of the year is going to be the leopard one over the snake and the elephant. The reason why I chose the leopard palette is because I feel like the colors are best fit for medium skin tones. I have been reaching for this the most out of all of the palettes. I just find it to be the most versatile on my skin tone. Since I already applied on bronzer and powder, I'm gonna go in with the blush color. I'm gonna mix this shade and this shade together. Overall, I just find the powders to be really flattering if you have textured and mature skin. They're glowy and luminous without being chunky or glittery, but even though I'm obsessed with the Hourglass palettes and I love all of the powders that are in those palettes, there are some individual products that just stand out. And this year, Selena Gomez released a new product that I just think deserves all of the hype, beyond her liquid blushes. Dare I say, better than her liquid blushes. This category is the best highlighter of the year, and we are voting Rare Beauty. What is this called? I think it's called Silky Touch Highlighter in the shade Flaunt. There's nothing more I can say about this highlighter besides, if you haven't tried it yet, you need to try it now, because I think everyone who has tried this highlighter has fallen in love with it. I haven't heard like one bad thing about it. It can be very blinding, but it can also be very soft if you use a light hand. Silky Touch is the best way to describe this highlighter. It feels almost like a cream highlight, which is insane. Like when you put your fingers in it, it feels like a cream highlight. If you choose the right shade for you that really aligns with your undertone, it will make your highlight just look wet, like I'm wearing a liquid highlight. Does that not look like I'm wearing a liquid highlight? It's crazy. Now, if you have oily skin, setting spray can only really do so much for the skin. It's gonna make your makeup, you know, stay, not budge. A good primer also helps, especially in your T-zone, for minimizing your pores, blurring the texture on your skin. But the most important part of your makeup is powder. So I'm going to vote the best setting powder of the year to One Size. This is just the powder that I would recommend if you have oily skin and you are trying to keep yourself from looking like a grease ball by the end of the day. Just be careful though, because it is so blurring, it is so matte, and it is meant for baking that you might go a little overboard. It will end up looking cakey throughout the day if you apply too much, but with a light hand you can really make it look nice for real life. I also love this powder for on camera because it really blurs out the skin. I don't know if you can tell the difference between where I just applied on the powder to here, but in person I notice a huge freaking difference in how things look. I notice when I wear this powder, I am less oily by the end of the day than the usual powders that I wear. I usually get super oily in my T-zone throughout the day, but this one really just keeps me matte, which means that I have to do less blotting, less touch-up, which I really like. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the last category of the night, and truthfully, the most important category. It's what I'm wearing on my lips today. The best lip combo of the year. This is the NYX lip liner in the shade Brown, and it's literally just the perfect shade of brown for my lips, and it's not too deep. And this is the YSL Candy Glaze in the shade 15. It's kind of a rosy pinky brown. And watch this. Like seriously, are you kidding me? It's perfect. It's perfect. I wear this every day and I'm still just shook it every time I put this on my lips. NYX lip liner in brown, YSL Candy Glaze in 15. Best brown, rosy lip color. She's that girl. I would have to say that this is probably my biggest makeup accomplishment of the year. Finding a lip combo that is actually flattering on my skin tone. So you best believe I'm gonna be bringing this with me in the new year. We'll see if anything tops this in the year 2024. I guess you're gonna have to find out in next year's Chew Choice Awards. My name is Elle Chew. This is the Chew Choice Awards 2023, and I'll catch you in the new year. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood. Okay, I hope you were entertained. I hope you got a little bit of information out of it. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you all so much for 2,000 subscribers, and thank you so much for just supporting me throughout this year. I started this channel this year and I'm just in disbelief on how far I've gotten. I've been making YouTube videos, truthfully, for over 10 years on and off, and this is the first year that I am deciding to commit to myself and commit to this channel. So hopefully more of you join me in the new year, and thank you to everyone who has been there for me. I love you so much. Happy holidays.